we will show you the system called Finance by Trandsoftware. It aims the personal financial control with budget control in your hand all the time. It is based on accounting principles, but trying to make it easy to understand. It has help available on every screen. It's currently available for Android and can be found in the store. This is a registered software with all rights reserved. When you install the system, you see the license agreement that you must read and agree to start using the system. This video is an introductory presentation to get an overview of the system and to explain some facilities and how to use it. Do not miss some other videos with more details. You can send comments to contact@trandsoftware.com. In our point of view, the most critical moment the user faces is to enter new transactions. Then we put on first screen several ways to include a new entry. There are 4 ways to register a new entry, 3 of them by indicating the account and value and pressing one of the buttons, expense, income, or other. And the 4th way is based on historical records and it is amazing fast. Thus you press the chosen button on the gray strip and if value do not need to be changed, you just confirm. Thus one click to select and another to confirm and a brand new record was done on the present date. And on the strip below, a fast way to see previous scheduled entries which were not yet turned into effective, as well as providing a fast way for confirmation of them when they occur on day by day. To do so, simply click the button corresponding to the schedule and confirm. All screens also offer a help by simply clicking on the title of interest. Let's see some graphics by menu, graphics, historic. This graphic shows monthly for a chosen period the sum of expenses or income. By default, shows expenses. Effective is in blue and schedules wait for confirmation in red. By clicking on the list title blue, the system expands the list and hides the graphic and vice versa. The opposite happens when you click on the graphic. On the top of the screen we find the Isolate button. It is possible to mark kinds of expenses to isolate. Initially, the graphic will be shown. For comparison purposes, showing the totals, green. Clicking on the bottom total, that is an on-off type, you turn it off and only the selected expenses are shown. Clicking on the graphic will make it large and hide the list and vice versa. If we click on the button Project in red equals on, the parcel of expenses which is pending confirmation becomes hidden. The button turns into gray, equivalent to off. When we click on the button Effective in blue with the button Project off, the system swaps their states, showing the scheduled person and hiding the effective. If we press Isolate again, we can invert the previous selection to put in focus the others. In the same way, we can hide the information about the total, leaving only the scheduled expenses or only the effective ones. If we click on one line within the list, the system shows its details by calling a report with the list of entries. Pressing again Isolate, we can view equivalent analysis for the income. Let's see another graph that identifies the greatest expenses of a period, showing them in color layers from the greatest. In the list, the color identifies the expenses on the graphic. We can expand the list or the graphic, select expensive or income, or view the ledger of each expense or income by clicking on the respective line. Let's view the third graphic in the form of pizza. Also shows the expense or income participation within the total in the select period. Next graphic shows the comparison between income in green and expenses in red, overlapping both to view the result. The list or the graphic can be expanded. It is possible to hide the income or the expense to a better view on one or another. It is also possible to only show effective records or only show the projected ones. Clicking one line on the list and will be shown the details within the result. From this demonstration, it is possible to mark accounts to view the respective ledger or the list of entries. The next graphic shows the cash flow for a chosen period. It shows the amount of money received comparing by overlapping with payments, counting the balance from this column in blue. When the balance is too high and we would like to view it, we need to click the button on the top of the screen with a slash and a sky blue background in it. Then the graphic is adjusted and showed. It is possible to expand the list by clicking on the blue header or enlarge the graphic clicking on it. Initially, it encompasses all accounts of the group cash and cash equivalent. Through the button Isolate, the system recalculates the specific flow for one account or for a group of them. These accounts mean money available to use that are located at several places, like money in the bank A, in the bank B, in the office, in the home cash, in the pocket, etc. In our example, we selected the cash account and we can view the respective cash flow. If we click on one of the select months, it is showed a detailed demonstration of the finance flow in the month, starting by the initial balance and computing income inflows, expense outflows, transfers, and other inflows or outflows until reach the final balance. All of that are done with the separation between effective and projected transactions values. Marking accounts on the screen and choosing one of the reports available, the ledger or the entries list, we can view their details. In our example, we will choose the ledger. On the ledger, we can expand the period. We can mark one or more records to edit or delete them. By the buttons on/off on the bottom of the screen, we can isolate only cash inflows screen or only outflows red. Through these buttons, it's also possible to show only the sum of the effective records or only the projected ones. These graphics and their several variations allow detailed financial analysis. This system was developed following accounting fundamentals, allowing more complex entries accordingly with the accounting basis adopted by the user. Fast accessed from the initial screen, as also from the menu, reports, balance sheet, we can see the balance sheet and together the profit and loss statement. Through the button Select on the top of the screen, we can configure the system to mark balance deviation, to isolate accounting groups, to isolate accounts, to select records by categories, to show only those turned into effective, only the projected ones or both of them for a chosen period. The distorted values highlighted are related to the past selected period average. You can configure the acceptable deviation percentage and the acceptable absolute value to not highlight. Deviation is calculated for each account including expenses, revenues, assets, liabilities, etc. The view screen is adapted by the device orientation. Reports many times have a better view with landscape orientation. 5 reports types are available. Let's quickly see the simplest by account and some tools, for example, making accounts to see their ledgers and from this edit or even delete transactions. The latest 2 types are more complex reports. They organize data by the code of each account, and because it's possible to create summary accounts that accumulate values, they can show multiple aggregation levels. This example is based on the suggested chart of accounts, but all codes can be set through the account edition. The checkboxes on the top allow showing the sum of isolated transactions for each month, or these values accumulated month by month, or the account balance for each month, in this case gathering all transactions. It's possible to mark accounts to see their ledgers, and then it is possible to edit or delete records. It's also possible to export reports to be used on another device or computer. Another important report is the ledger, where all debits and credits of an account can be seen, showing the balance through the time. The account can be selected or typed in the field. When balance is not compatible with the account's nature, the system highlights the value needing notation. It is possible to edit any entry. When editing an entry generated by the automatic schedule programming, it is possible to see its source. Then it's possible to see all sums, meaning all records generated by this schedule programming. Other report produces a list of entries from several criteria or selection, including sorting order the data, for example, by descending value, etc. Accordingly, the sort order, the report is molded to better show the data. Also allows marking records to edit or delete them. There are other reports using another so interesting way of selection. One of them initially focuses all records. One another focuses records projected or scheduled. And the last focuses records scheduled with due date in the past. The last report identifies records projected or scheduled with their date already having occurred. In other words, identifies registers in the past but remains pending to be marked as effective for some reason. On home screen, pressing the button near, it is a fast way to show the sum of scheduled records with due date in the past, those due today, and those in the next 9 days, day by day. Clicking on one value will be showed a list with the respective entries. There are several other routines, but let's view in a fast way only some screens. These routines allow schedule programming, backup and restoration, net profit calculation, balance adjust, database checking, reload suggested chart of accounts, basic tutorial with common transactions, filters file, chart of accounts file, routine to change account codes, setup of colors and text size, other settings, and password with cryptography. Transactions data that generate the viewed results can be checked on the others available videos, which show the system in more details. Others available videos: basic record, manual schedule, automatic schedules, fast entries and some reports, the ledger, and the basic tutorial.